What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today we're going to talk about this. All the gear I use to make great barbecue, and what I recommend for a holiday gift guide for the barbecue lover or pitmaster in your life. Plus, a big giveaway at the end. Coming up! With the holidays right around the corner, whether you're shopping for the pitmaster in your family, or you are the pitmaster and you're just looking for a few extra things to throw on your Christmas list, today I'm going to go over all the things I use on the regular to help make my barbecue life that much easier. That's right, folks. Today we're going to be doing the 2021 Barbecue Holiday Gift Guide, and it is going to be informative. Go in. Starting with category number 1, which is what we call in the welding world consumables. You know, the things that you can always get year after year that are always going to be welcome. The things that are maybe one-time use or you're going to run out of eventually. Things like charcoal. I'm a big fan of Fogo Charcoal, especially this yellow bag. This is the super premium and the chunks in there are just super big. Yeah. Oh, that's satisfying. And the reason I like these big chunks is because it makes starting an offset smoker super easy, but they're really great for doing the direct heat cooking as well. Like on the mini Chud box, this stuff is great. I throw it in just like logs, but because it's charcoal, it lights up way quicker, a lot less smoke. Love this stuff. And I'm down to my last few bags, so Fogo, if you're watching, call me. But if you're not a mini Chud box or offset smoker kind of family, then they also make a smaller version of their charcoal in the black bag, which is great for grills like the PK or the Weber or the Big Green Egg or something like that. But also it depends on who you're shopping for. They may be a briquette kind of guy, in which case there are tons of briquettes out there. And the more the merrier, because there's nothing more frustrating than getting that urge to go outside and fire up the pit, and then you realize that you're all out of charcoal, you have to run to the store, and it just slows everything down. So having a big pile of charcoal at the ready at all times is always great. And you can always make a good joke out of it if you give someone a big bag of coal for Christmas. So, charcoal, more the merrier, always welcome. Highly recommend it. Next item on the list, fire starters. Love these things. These little tumbleweed ones are great. You see me using these all the time. These make a great little stocking stuffer because, again, you're gonna burn through them. These are one-time use. This comes in a pack of 15. And sometimes it takes more than one to get a fire started. And having a bunch of these around makes life super easy. They light up really quick. And whether you're putting them under a chimney starter or directly into your pit with all the charcoal in there, these are super handy and always welcome. And they make these in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You can even make them yourself. I've watched a few YouTube videos about how to make these. And if you're into arts and crafts or something, I think that'd be a really fun gift. Pretty simple process. And again, if you're into barbecue, you need to get your fire started, and fire starters are a great way to go about doing that. Next up, as far as consumables are concerned, gloves. Nitrile gloves. I love these things. I use them all the time. I adopted this when working in the food industry because, you know, they're required for health code reasons, but also, especially for me, doing what I'm doing here, going between sooty hands and raw meat and the camera, having gloves around makes life super easy because instead of having to go inside and wash your hands every 5 minutes, getting your doorknob all dirty and getting meat juices all over your sink, just taking off a pair of gloves and replacing them is super convenient. They also add a little bit of a heat barrier so you can grab hotter foods. And also, nitrile gloves are not cheap. This is like a $27 box or something for 100 of them. So, not a bad gift idea. Again, I go through them all the time. I turn my dad onto them and he loves having them around, especially when you're dealing with chicken and fish and stuff like that, because again, it's just a lot easier than washing your hands every 5 minutes. And black gloves just look cool. Highly recommend it. Speaking of gloves, heat gloves. These are just cotton gloves. You can get these in like 12 packs on Amazon. A lot of guys really like these. A lot of pitmasters use them. They put these on and then they put the nitrile gloves on over them. That way you can grab a piping hot brisket or anything that's toasty, a cast iron pan, whatever you're using to cook with, without burning your hands. I tend not to use them because I've been welding and cooking for long enough that I really don't have much feeling left in my fingers anymore. But if you don't want to burn off all your nerve endings, this is a great way to go about it. And also, they get really sweaty and grimy and dirty, so they're almost disposable. So I highly recommend picking up a 12 pack. They're super cheap and make for a great gift. Speaking of things that get grimy and dirty, the old mop. I'm a big fan of mop style barbecue. Making a mop sauce is really fun. It's a really old school way of cooking. You get some really good flavors that way. But these things get nasty. They're really hard to clean. And if you leave it outside overnight, it's toast. Again, they're really cheap, so you can pick up a bunch of these, have them around, make for a great gift. But not everyone is into mopping. But most people are into spritzing. A nice high quality spritzer like this is really nice to have around. I go through a lot of these. Again, if you put a nice honey spritz in here or something really sugary and you forget to clean it out right away, you're gonna grow some mold in there or attract some flies. And just hanging around the barbecue pit for a while, these things get pretty grimy and pretty dirty, but luckily they're super cheap. You can get a 6-pack of these for like 20 bucks. You get them on Amazon, you can get them at Lowe's. I have a bunch of these lying around. I use them for all-purpose cleaners as well as spritzes, and I've gone through a lot of these over the years. So another great thing to have around. Also, if you use a lot of the same spritzes all the time, you can have them labeled with different things. Like out in the garage next to my garage pit, I've got one full of hot sauce that I use for making ribs all the time. Then I got one hanging right over here that's got all-purpose cleaner. You get the drill. Super cheap, very helpful. And when talking about things you go through a lot of in the barbecue world, salt and pepper. May seem like a lame gift, but a lot of people don't get the right grind of pepper or the right kind of salt. And regardless, they're gonna use it eventually, so always a welcome gift in this household. If you've seen my videos, you know I'm a big fan of keeping it real simple with just salt and pepper. And these are the two that I use all the time. This is Diamond Crystal Kosher Salt and 16 Mesh Black Pepper. You can get both of these on Amazon. That's where I get these. And you can't really find Diamond Crystal Kosher Salt in stores, at least in my neck of the woods. There's a lot of Mortons around, but that's a different granule size and has a different weight by volume. So if you really want to be making my recipes the way I do it, highly recommend picking up some Diamond Crystal Kosher Salt and some good old 16 Mesh Black Pepper. This stuff is industry standard at this point because it's pretty much the same granule size as kosher salt. You can get it online really easily. Again, you're not going to find this in stores and you're going to use it. Great gift, great to have around. You can also mix it together and make your own rub, especially if you're the crafty kind of person. Most of the time what I use is a 2-part 16 Mesh Black Pepper to 1-part by volume kosher salt mix. So you can mix that up, put a fun label on it, and there's a great gift idea. Kind of like what I've got here. You've seen me use this in different videos before. This is SPG. This is 2 parts pepper, 1 part salt, and a 1/2 part granulated garlic. Great for beef, great for brisket, great for ribs. Just an all-around great rub. Super simple. You could even jazz it up, throw a little sugar or some paprika or some mustard powder in there, make it your own. But salt and pepper can get kind of boring, so there's plenty of rubs out there that you can also gift. Because if you're anything like me, I'm sure you've got a big, massive rub collection that you've gathered over the years. These are a few of my favorites at the moment. The Honey Hog from Meat Church. Love this stuff. Almost time for a new one. I just put this on some salmon last night. I love this. It's super savory, really sweet. Love the label. Matt Pittman, great guy. And then also, Hardcore Carnivore makes some really great stuff. Jess Pryles, she's a local friend. And all of her rubs are great. I'm really liking this Amplify. It's got like chicken bouillon or something in there. It's super savory, a really great finisher for any of your chicken or ribs or anything like that. But there's a whole world of rubs out there. I'm just biased and choose my Texas friends here, but great stocking stuffer, help the collection grow. And unfortunately, Chud Rub will not be available in time for the holidays. We're doing some new branding, getting some new labels done and all that good stuff, but it should be ready very soon into 2022. But I still have these 2 from the last batch, and I'm gonna be giving these away at the end of the video. So stay tuned if you want some of the OG batch of Chud Rub. And lastly, on the topic of consumables, a good barbecue sauce is a must. As you're aware, I'm a big fan of the Leroy & Lewis Beef Barbecue Sauce. On sale now at LeroyandLewisBBQ.com. This stuff is great. It's a super well-rounded barbecue sauce, kind of tangy, a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweet. Goes great on everything. It's not too beady, so don't be scared. It's mostly for color and a little bit of that earthiness, but this stuff is great. It's a perfect all-purpose barbecue rub. Pick them up. Tell them Chud sent you. Another great gift idea that makes a lot of sense is a gift card to an online meat purveyor. Porter Road makes some great stuff. You've seen me cook their stuff all the time. They've got everything from dry-aged beef, pork, lamb, chicken, you name it, they've got it. A gift card to them would be a great gift idea. And there's plenty of other websites out there. Wild 4, Crowd Cow, Chow, Box. There's a whole bunch of online butcher shops, and that's a super simple gift. That way, you're giving the gift of meat to a guy who likes to cook barbecue. Just makes sense. Moving up in price a little bit to our next category of barbecue gadgets that I use all the time. Number 1 recommendation, the tiny leaf blower. I love this thing. It has changed the game. Fires are getting hot quicker than ever. Great for cleaning up the patio. If you have extra rub on your table, clean it off. I love this thing. And of course, I'll have links in the description for everything I'm talking about. But this is a great gift. It's multifunctional. I use it for a lot more than just fires around the house. And as you can see, it's got its use in. It's covered in ash. Love this thing. Highly recommend it. Especially if you're in the neighborhood. When you're getting your fire started, there's a lot of dirty smoke in the early combustion of wood, and using this can really help stop from smoking clean out the neighborhood and pissing off your neighbors. So great gift, great tool, definitely recommend it. Next up, of course, is a good charcoal chimney. It doesn't have to be mine, but it's definitely the most efficient way to get your charcoal lit and burning hot to give you the best results right off the bat. And if you're getting some of the cheaper ones, it definitely fits into the consumable category because those things only last for about 6 months. What are the odds of 3 of my neighbors having yappy dogs? But if you do want to get a solid steel Chud chimney, I'm making a big batch of them right now. They'll be released in about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks from now. So keep an eye on the website for that. And of course, if you want to know first, join the chudsbbq Patreon. They are always the first ones to know, and they have bought me out every single time. But if you've already got a charcoal chimney, the flamethrower is an awesome tool for barbecuing. I've got 2 models here. This is the Sear Pro. I like it because it's super small and compact. And then we've got the old grill gun here. This thing's sweet. It looks like a Beretta 92. Super fun, great for getting fires started. I use them both equally. This one's great if I'm just doing the grill or trying to sear a steak or something like that. And this one I use all the time for the offset because it's really nice to be standing a foot or 2 away from the giant flamethrower that you're shooting out of this thing. I like them both, they're both great. 2 different price points, 2 different sizes. Grill gun also makes one that's a little bit bigger than this one, so a smaller one. They call it the sous vide gun, so it's designed for searing steaks. But these are a lot of fun. You see me use them all the time on the channel for getting fires started, and that's a fun gift right there. Definitely recommend it. Probably my biggest recommendation for a holiday gift to the pitmaster in your life has to be a good quality thermometer. And Thermapen is the way to go. ThermoWorks makes these. This is the Thermapen 1. Highly recommend it because you have to know the temperature of what you're cooking in order to make good barbecue. Also, it's a probe, so you can really test for tenderness as well. Highly recommend it. I have a few of these floating around, and it really is the best in the game. I'm not a big fan of the proby ones on the wires that you leave in there, but they make those too. But this is really what I rely on to make sure everything is feeling tender and up to temp. And also, if you want to be cool or lame, like me, haven't decided yet, I got these little pocket clips on Amazon, and they have little adhesives on them. That way you can hang off the side of the table, doesn't get lost in your pocket, and fits perfectly in your apron. Highly recommend it. Thermapen. Choose the link in the description because I get a little kickback whenever you buy one of these from them, from my link. A few other quick little pieces of kit that I use every single time I cook barbecue. A good bench scraper. This is a baking tool. This one's from Leroy & Lewis, so you can get one from them too. But this is just great for cleaning off the table, getting all that rub off, keeping your cutting board clean. Use it all the time. It's also great for cleaning out your pit. That's why this one's a little sooty already. I've been cleaning out the pits with it. But highly recommend it. It's also great for baking. You know, that's what it's meant for scooping up doughs and that kind of stuff. But love this. Great for making chopped beef too, or pulled pork or whatever. Bench scraper, highly recommend it. You see it in every video. It lives right on the side of the burner here. Another one, a good basting brush, nice rubber one. Again, the mop with the cotton bristles on it gets really dirty and tends to leave little strands all over the place. So a nice silicone one like this works really well. You saw me use this last week in the pork loin video. This one's camo and pink because that's how I roll. Another great gift that's super cheap that'll impact your cooks a lot more than you'd ever think. A good pair of tongs. Just a nice cheap pair of tongs. Go to a restaurant supply store for pretty much all of this stuff, but a nice long pair of tongs saves your hands from burning. Nice wide grip, and they're great for clacking. And lastly, a good knife steel. These are super cheap, readily available, and this is basically just gonna help keep your knives sharp. It doesn't actually take any steel off, so it's not a sharpener, but it just helps realign your edge on a microscopic level to give you the sharpest blade possible, keeping everything safe and making sure you have complete control. Again, it's amazing how much difference one of these can make after just a few passes. But speaking of knives, these are a few of the knives that I've been using a lot as of lately, starting of course with the classic Victorinox 6-inch red boning knife. Love this thing. You see it in pretty much every video. I love this knife. It's super cheap. I think they're like 20 or 30 bucks or something like that. And I really like them because of the rubberized handle, you know, especially if you're opening up a brisket, there's a lot of liquid in the bag and you don't want to be slipping all over a handle like this or something like that. And they're super cheap, so if you botch up sharpening them, it's no big deal. Highly recommend it. I've got like 12 of these things floating around. Next up would be the Misono 8-inch Japanese chef's knife. This thing is great. I use it all the time. I gift it to people all the time. Spoiler alert, I got my sister one for Christmas. But this thing is super nice, very thin, very sharp. I use it all the time. Again, it's about 80 bucks, so pretty good gift, pretty quality knife. Highly recommend it. Then on the other side of things, I still use this guy all the time. This is the Wusthof Icon Series Chef's Knife. I like this one because it's got a nice thick blade on it. Great for chopping up ribs. It's just like a heavy duty workhorse of a knife. A little less delicate than the Misono. And then this one, this is my new favorite knife as of late. This is a Deba Knife, which means it looks like a chef's knife, but it's really heavy duty and thick. It's basically replaced the cleaver in my system. It's got a nice sharp bevel on there, but it's only beveled on one side, so it's really great for cutting up fish and stuff like that as well. But it's really heavy duty, great for chopping things up. I just like it because it's a beefcake. Look how thick that is. Love it. And you can also do delicate work with it as well. So highly recommend one of these if you don't have one. It's kind of short, which I like, and I just really like it. The knife roll itself, I get a lot of questions about this. I got this as a gift from my sister last year for Christmas. This is the Bradleone edition leather knife roll. Super simple, rolls up really well. It's made out of some nice soft leather, and I just like it because there's nothing on it that can break. You know, it's just a leather strap that wraps around. There's no clamps or clips or anything like that, and it's nicely broken in because I throw it around in every video. But I'll have links in the description for this, that, everything you've seen so far. But having a good knife roll is really nice, especially if you have roommates or kids or something like that. You can keep your few expensive nice knives out of the kitchen drawers, keep them safe, and great for travel if that's something that you do. The only problem I have with this knife roll is that it's not long enough. So there's a few knives that can't fit in here. Like the classic brisket slicer. Definitely gotta have one of these in your collection. Again, this is a Dexter Russell, super cheap, very affordable. They're like 20 bucks or something like that. Again, I go with the red handle just to be a little bit different. I also love this guy. This is a Shun Premier Series. This is a very expensive bread knife. I got this as a gift. I wouldn't recommend splurging on it because I think it's around like $250 or $300, but I love it. It's super sharp, comes in really handy. Like whenever I'm cutting through a brisket, it's just the weight of the knife sinks right through. So if you're really looking to spend some money on a good brisket knife, highly recommend it. This thing is great, and it's beautiful, you know, great patina on there. Love this thing. And the other knife that won't fit in my knife roll, unfortunately, is the old sword here. This thing is a lot of fun. If you're looking for a really funny gift, this thing is great. I think it's pretty cheap. This is from Dalstrong. They sponsored a few videos earlier this year, and they've got some pretty good knives, honestly. If you're on a budget or looking for something really unique, they've got some really cool looking knives out there in all shapes and sizes, including this behemoth, which is just kind of fun to have around. You know, it's like a straight up machete. One last gift idea is some good barbecue books. Admittedly, I'm not a big reader. I'm more of an audio book kind of guy or a watch it on YouTube kind of guy, but a few books that have really helped me out along the way. First and foremost, the Franklin book. You can see this thing has seen better days. I have read through this thing many times, mostly in my early days of learning how to barbecue. If you really want to learn the ropes of Texas style barbecue, especially Central Texas style, which is pretty much what I do on this channel exclusively, this is a great place to start. It's going to show you all the basics from building an offset smoker to trimming a brisket. Really great information in here. Perfect beginner guide. Definitely worth a read. Secondly, the Charcuterie Book. This is a gem in the barbecue world. A lot of people have read this book and got inspiration from it. A lot of my sausage knowledge comes from this book. A lot of my brines and a lot of my recipes in general have inspiration from this book, whether it's how to make bacon or sausage ratios or that kind of thing. Very scientific, very useful. A lot of great recipes in here. Highly recommend picking this one up. And last but not least, probably the best culinary book ever written by my mother, the Shack Cookbook. Especially this time of year, look at all those holiday dips on there. There's over 100 dip recipes in here, perfect for appetizers and hors d'oeuvres at your next holiday party. So go support Mama Chud and buy yourself the Shack Cookbook, on sale now at Amazon.com. And that's it. That's all the stuff I use every single time I step out onto this patio and fire up any one of these barbecue pits I've got around. All these tools are super essential to what I do, whether it's just for speeding things up or getting the best quality barbecue I can make at home. And if you're interested in any of these items, please click the links in the description of this video or any other video. They're all Amazon affiliate links, meaning if you use those links, I get a little bit of kickback, so it's a great way to support the channel, and it's not gonna like take any of your personal information or anything like that, but I would greatly appreciate it. But before we go, let's talk about giveaway time, because I know I look like a young Santa, so it only makes sense that I give away some toys this year. So, starting out, as mentioned, these are the final 2 bottles from the first run of Chud Rub, and I will be giving away each of these individually. So for your chance to win, stay tuned till the end because we're not done yet. charcoal chimneys. I'm building a whole bunch of them, as I mentioned, and I'm gonna be giving away 2 of them. Let's go see that real quick. Look at all these chimneys. These are about halfway built at this point, but I think there's gonna be about 100 of them total, and they'll be released in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Again, stay tuned. Join the Patreon if you wanna get the first notification, but I hope there's gonna be enough to go around, because we got a whole bunch of these, and I'm gonna be giving away 2 of them. Man, all those fresh ones look so much better than this one. I've been leaving this one outside on top of the firebox on purpose, just to kind of torture test it in the elements to see if any of these welds pop or rusts through, and this is the first one I ever made, so seems to be holding up well so far. Up next, the old boot snake hat. There's a snake in my boot. If you're unaware, I sell these on my website as well, chudsbbq.com. But I'm gonna give 2 of these away as well. Buy them. So again, that's 2 bottles of Chud Rub, 2 charcoal chimneys, and 2 big old cowboy hats that I'm gonna be giving away. That gives you 6 chances to win. And all you need to do to enter to win any of these items is be a subscriber to the channel and drop a comment down below letting me know where you are in the world. It's always interesting to see where y'all are watching from. And also, if you get a friend to subscribe and tag you down in the comments below, that gives you another chance to win. Hold on. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I was just doing a YouTube video with a holiday gift guide. I'm doing a bunch of giveaways, and I was wondering if you wanted to throw a couple of beet barbecue sauces into the mix.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Okay.
All right, later. Oh, that was Evan Leroy, so that's 8 chances to win, because now we've got 2 bottles of Leroy & Lewis beet barbecue sauce. 8 chances to win. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel. Again, if you can get a friend to tag you down below saying they subscribe because of you, that's an extra chance to win. And drop a comment down below letting me know where you're watching from, and I'll get all of this shipped out in the next week and a half, 2 weeks before the holidays to get it under your tree in time. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is my 2021 holiday barbecue gift guide. And again, this is not a sponsored video. None of these companies pay me to say any of this stuff. This is all just the tools that I use on a regular basis to help me make barbecue and help make all these videos. And if there's anything you think I left out, be sure to let me know down in the comments below for next year. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, that's going to enter you into the giveaway where I've got 8 prizes that I'm giving away in a few weeks. Drop a comment down below letting me know where you're at in the country, and if anyone else tags you, that's another chance for you to win. Again, I'm really trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and it's going to be real tight, so I appreciate every subscribe that comes on in. But if you need any of these barbecue tools, be sure to get them from the links in the description of this video, and tag me on Instagram at chudsbbq. I love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you so much for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.